What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you guys that NBA slate breakdown for the 7-game NBA slate. We're getting a ton of 7-game slates, and honestly, I like it. I love it. This is kind of the sweet spot to me personally whenever it comes down to making DFS lines and things like that. Not too many games, not too little games, and just enough for us to get different and stuff like that with the slates. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content your boy drops over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos, content, anything that I put out for you guys, if it's helping you guys make some money, because you know what? We've been doing pretty good, especially in the second half of this NBA season. It's been good, been very well. Picking it up in regards to prop plays and stuff like that going on right now. The cores are not doing too bad. Definitely yesterday was not a bad core. Jared Allen killed it. Kobe White killed it. Precious Achiuwa, even though he didn't start, still had a pretty decent game out there as well. And then Aaron Nesmith started off a little shaky, but he got there as well. So it was not bad, especially if you stacked up the Bulls. If you guys join me on the live stream, definitely let me know down in the comment section if you guys want to see some more live streams, things like that. I will try to accommodate as my schedule clears up, opens up, and things of that nature. I will be able to do more of those things right there. But you know, again, let me know what you guys want to see down in the comment section, because I aim to please and give you guys what you guys are honestly subscribed and looking for. So definitely look forward to that right there. As you guys can see over here on the Patreon, I put out, you know, updates, notes, and things like that for you guys to be able to go ahead and have it throughout the day. Of course, yesterday's double up parlay, which was not only posted on the Patreon, but also over here on the YouTube, which is why I tell you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You definitely don't want to be able to miss that. Now, I told you guys I had some other stuff coming over here to the channel. I added the membership tab. So if you guys pay for the stuff over here on Patreon, I know you get my stuff, you get BK stuff. My stuff will still be up here on the Patreon. You will still see it. You will still get it over there on the Patreon. But for people that don't want to have Patreon, don't have that, whatever, you still want to support the channel, you want to support your boy, I added the membership tab over here, and all of my stuff will be over here as well, but it will be behind the paywall. I'm sorry. It was only fair and it's only right. I can't keep putting out this for free over here, especially the stuff that I put out on the Patreon. It's not fair to everybody. There will still be tons of free stuff. I mean, these videos, they're a great well of knowledge already. I see people talk to me down in the comment section in regards to my takes and things like that. So I know you guys are getting something from it. But if you guys want to support the channel, you want to see some of the other stuff that I do offer, that I give out, definitely check out the membership tab. You don't have to sign up for it. You don't. But it's just a way to make it fair, equal across the board. As you guys can see, like I said yesterday, that double up parlay, it cashed, no problem, easy day. Tyrese Halliburton just on fire, like I said, since coming back from the break. Paulo 41, did not see that coming from Paulo. And honestly, if you were in the live stream and I said it, the early games looked like a fade, but just like that day with the whole Steph Curry thing, and I mean, funny enough, it was with the Magic again. I can see a world where low owned those first two games pop off. Halliburton and Paulo, if you took those two from the first two games, just amazing. 75 something for Paulo, 58 for Tyrese Halliburton, and you were just cooking right there already. You didn't have to have Giannis. Didn't need to play Giannis yesterday. Filled in with the Chicago guards and the value that they had over there for Chicago, and you were good. You cooked. But hey, we're gonna run it back. We're gonna figure it out. But like I said, bang, we cashed it again. I'll be posting another one after this video is up. All my prop content and stuff like that, that will be coming out shortly afterwards, so you guys will be able to get that stuff as well. But all right, digging into it. Like I said, we got 7 games. And again, tons of injury news that we have to pay attention to. I'm pretty sure there will be some switch up, some stuff going on for today. But with what we got so far, Portland Trail Blazers taking on the Boston Celtics. Jeremy Grant, who has missed the last couple games, he's listed as a game time decision once again. They're already going to be without Time Lord, Matisse Thybulle, and DeAndre Ayton. So playing, of course, if he can play the minutes at the center spot, he will play as much as he can handle. On the Boston Celtics side, I can see the world where the Celtics would possibly maybe rest some people, such as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are actually listed as questionable. Derek White, expected for him to play. Peyton Pritchard, he typically doesn't start. Normally, we'll just see Sam Hauser slid into the spot or something like that. So a little bit of a scratch ahead in why they want to project Peyton Pritchard. But if Peyton does start, that's not a bad play at all here in the spot. I could definitely see yourself going there. Porzingis has already been ruled out. Well, pretty much doubtful to play. And same thing for Drew Holiday. Both those guys won't play, and we shouldn't expect anything else. I imagine that we will get some kind of news from Boston just because they are on the front end of back-to-back. They play Philly tomorrow. Of course, you really don't need your full squad to be able to beat Philly, but Philly did keep it close last night. So definitely We'll have that news before lock, of course. Miami taking on Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland on the back end of a back-to-back. Evan Mobley was rested yesterday, expecting to play today. I would not be surprised if somebody from Cleveland, Garland, Donovan, if one of those, or shoot, Jared Allen, if someone over here is rested, just because that is typically what Cleveland has been doing at the later half of the season in regards to resting their main key guys. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Tyler Hero, he's a game time decision. I doubt that he plays because he did just pop up on the injury report this afternoon. So definitely a late injury tag, questionable, typically means you're going to be out. We already got word that Khalil Ware, Wiggins, Jaime Jaquez, and Jovic, all those guys are going to be out as well. So Miami might be a little shorthanded, but definitely at the guard position, if Hero's going to be out, they will have a pretty tightish rotation at guard with Terry Rozier, Larson, and Duncan Robinson, if you want to count him as a guard, but he's a tweener between the 2 and the 3 over there for them. Utah taking on Washington. Utah, again, just resting everybody. Of course, they're tanking. But Keontae George popped up on the injury report late again as well. So possibly we don't have Keontae George in what would have been a really good matchup. Definitely if... Well, not even if, all these guys are going to be out. Sexton, Laurie Larkin, Walker Kessler, John Collins, Clarkson, Springer, all these guys are out. Utah is shorthanded, but it's going to be a good matchup, good game, and definitely I will have a parlay for this game right here. 229 total with a 5-point spread. You got the young guys going up against the young guys on both sides of this right here. I will have a same game parlay for this game right here. I might pair it up with something else for tonight. Definitely looking through the totals and everything, and depending on who is in and out for the Denver Nuggets and Sacramento Kings, I want to probably stack that game as well. 2 of the higher totals on today's slate. Definitely makes for a banger. Almost hit one last night. If Zion would have just went out there and been able to get 20 points, I had a Laker and the Pelicans stack along with the Atlanta and Milwaukee stack, and it was one other game. The New York Knicks and the Warriors. I had those 3 games stacked up because I like the totals. I like the spread and everything in those games right there, and played that. But dang, the Pelicans, they I'm not ready to say that the Lakers are good. I'm just not. I can't do it yet. I got to see them play like legit top of the West, like real good teams. I understand they played the Clippers, but the Clippers have been on a little bit of a downtrend lately anyway. So I gotta see the surging Los Angeles Lakers play someone real. I gotta see it first. But on the Washington Wizards side, Keontae George, game time decision. Rashawn Holmes, game time decision as well. Definitely we should have that news right there as well. Either way, it's the young guys. Poole's already been ruled out. Brogdon's going to be ruled out. Yes, Chris Middleton's in the starting lineup, but we already know he's not playing more than 24, 25 minutes. Ain't got to worry about that. Minnesota Timberpups on the back end of a back-to-back for them, taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Julius Randle played last night. Rudy Gobert did not play, so possibly, maybe it flops, it switches. Randle might be held out. He did just recently come back from injury. Was a game time decision yesterday. So possible for them to rest him here today. I could definitely see that happen. Or also, it is the Charlotte Hornets. I could definitely see Mike Conley being rested just because do you really need him? 9-point spread versus the Charlotte Hornets, who are also tanking. I don't really think you do. On the Charlotte Hornets side, Josh Okogie, he's the only one that's going to be out. Regular starters look like Melo's good to go. They're not on a back-to-back or anything like that for them, so I would expect everyone over here to actually play in this game. Dallas Mavericks, who are just riddled with injuries, short-handed like what they were earlier this season when they made the trades and all that other stuff, where it was like, hey, they have legit 9 players that they're going to have to rotate through, maybe 8 if they, depending on how the kid wants to work it over there. You're going to end up with at least 3, probably more than likely 3 Dallas players in your lineups tonight. I would not be surprised. They have no bigs really. Gaffer's still out. Dante Exum is out as well. Hardy, Lively, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis. All these guys are out. Spencer Dinwiddie's going to have to be starting at the point guard position. Max Christie's going to be out there. Klay Thompson, Edwards, Dwight Powell. They have him listed as the starting center, but he's on a minutes limit. And Kai Jones, good fantasy point per minute player whenever he's not going crazy. And I mean crazy in the head. He started the second half over Dwight Powell, so I wouldn't be surprised if he could possibly get the start here. That would actually be really good to me in my eyes. Milwaukee Bucks, backing them back-to-back for them. Kyle Kuzma was questionable yesterday, ended up playing. Wouldn't surprise me if Kuzma or Giannis, someone over here was sat out. I would not be surprised. Again, an early enough game that we should have that news. I definitely think it should be a midday ad for what's going on over there with the Bucks, but it wouldn't surprise me if someone was sat over there. 10-point spread, 222.5 total. Someone should be sitting over there for that squad. Sacramento Quangs taking on the Denver Nuggets. Malik Monk game time decision. Sabonis has already been ruled out. J-Val will be at the starting center spot. If Monk's going to be out, then we might see Keon Ellis get sit into the starting lineup right there. Not bad. So definitely something to pay attention to over there for them. Denver Nuggets, the Joker tweaked his ankle but played through it the whole game, last game out. Aaron Gordon, he's been someone that we've constantly seen on the injury report. So hopefully there will be some like afternoon update or something like that for the Nuggets, because we do need to know that news. If AG is going to be out, Russ will probably get sent into the starting lineup, or Zeke Naji, he's on the game time decision tag as well. If he's good to go, then Najee could also get the start, because they did start him before as well. Definitely pay attention to that. And then my OKC Thunder taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant, president shoot around. Santi Aldama, president shoot around. JJJ, he's going to be out for a little bit. Possible that Edey gets slid back into a starting spot. For the Thunder, we are going to be without Alex Caruso. Isaiah Joe is a game time decision. Chet looks like he's good to go. We're not on a front end of back-to-back or anything, so Chet should be out there fine to play for his minutes. I expect Ja to play since he was president shoot around, but he is dealing with a shoulder injury, and that has kept him out of a couple of games, so definitely pay attention to that. And then Santi Aldama, I want to say he missed the last game, but should be good to go here. Don't mind. We'll get into that over there. Scottie Pippen Jr. on a game time decision, and we'll deal with that when we get over here to that game. Portland Trailblazers taking on the Boston Celtics. Again, I got to see what's going on over here for this. The big news that we're going to need from the Portland Trailblazers is Jeremy Grant back? Is Grant going to actually play again for them? Now, the Trailblazers, for whatever reason, they're winning games. They are soaring in everything that they've been doing. I like what I'm seeing. The team, I feel like they're trying to make the play-in. I'm not too sure why you want to make the play-in currently right now, but if they do, I mean, it is what it is. If Grant misses, of course, you guys know Denny Avdia sitting at that 6'6", 6'5", in that tweener range that I do like to play him at. I know that he has triple-double upside. He can definitely go out there and stack it up with the best of them. If Grant is out, just with his triple-double upside that Denny Avdia has whenever he is in that role facilitating and doing everything, and we have seen opposing power forwards be able to smash. And I mean, I know Boston is like top tier team, this, that, and the third, but Evan Mobley dropped 40 on them. Tobias Harris, 36. Scotty Barnes, 36. Josh Hart, 47. Bam Adebayo, 45. The scoring is there for him. The rebounding is there. The assist, playmaking is there. And if you spring a little defensive stat here and there, all that stuff is there for Denny to have a really good game. Would not surprise me if, and that's only if, Jeremy Grant is out. He goes out there and he pops. Outside of that, you guys know I kind of typically like to play shooters going up against the Boston Celtics, and one of those will be for me Anthony Simons. He's been in his bag on this road trip and stuff for them quite a bit. Decent upside to him at that 7K price tag. I can see myself going there. And then of course we do know if Grant is going to be out, Denny Avdia is moving to that 4 position. Shaedon Sharpe has just came on in a big way lately. Pause. With everything that he's done, 44, 30, 40, 57, just playing those 30 plus minutes. So again, another one that we would have to look to on the radar, a shooter who can shoot. I know those 3-point makes over his last 2 games, not too impressive, but he's still going out there putting up some really good scoring numbers, but also rebounding the ball very well and giving us a couple of peripheral stats with those assists as well. So I like the upside right there. If you want to mess with Klingon, if it's going to be old man Al Horford out there, you can definitely do that. If he gets the minutes, of course, he's able to go out there and give us a big night. But I don't necessarily think you have to go to 5,700 Donovan Klingon, especially with some of the better centers in better spots today. But definitely someone you can keep in your back pocket on your radar. And then Scoot Henderson, if Grant is going to be out, would be someone else I would have on radar, because his minutes should tick up. Having to play off the bench over here for them would be someone else that I would consider, because he's going to garnish all that usage for the second-ish unit, the playmaking duties and stuff like that, with Sharpe being inside the starting lineup. On the Boston Celtics side of things, of course, JT, if he's in, I mean, do it all. The dude's almost averaging a triple-double over his last, like, what, 4 games. He's been very consistent in regards to playmaking, getting those rebounds and things like that. One prop I do like for JT with Porzingis already being ruled out. If JT is in, I would take his rebounding prop at least for like 8 to 10 rebounds. I could definitely see that here in this spot. I know the 10 rebounds was plus money over on FanDuel last time I checked. That would be one that I wouldn't mind getting. And then if either one of these guys miss, if JT misses, then of course you're going to want to play Jaylen Brown. If Jaylen Brown misses, then you're going to want to mess with JT because Porzingis has already been ruled out and all that usage he's going to have right there. Now, if both of these guys miss and Derek White is in, you kind of should see the pattern where I'm going with that. But again, another team we're going to have to get that news from. If all these guys miss and it's just Peyton Pritchard having the team to himself, this is like G League, Summer League type play right there. Peyton Pritchard at 5,300. 3-point baller who can rebound for his size at the guard spot and also play make, get those assists. Okay, I'll take it. Outside of that, I'll give more analysis, deeper update in regards to when we get that injury news to know what route we're going to go to when it comes down to it. But really, it's just pay attention to the news. If 2 of the stars are missing, you know you're going to want to play Derek White. If one of the other ones missed, then yeah, you can go with either one of those 2 guys. Derek White is a good play either way. If JT Brown misses, both miss, you guys get the point I'm trying to make right there. Minnesota Timberpups taking on the Charlotte Hornets. If Julius Randle is in and he's playing, of course, 6,500, I could still go there. Like I said, why would I pay up for Naz Reid, who was sitting right here? I understand Naz went out there, he dropped 38.5, but still, at 7,800, that's not what I want from you. I want a little bit more. Julius Randle, 33 at 65. I will take that. I will take that all day, every day. That was only a 5 fantasy point difference, but the salary savings that you get is going to be worth it. Now, if Randall backing him back to back, I'm not too sure how he handles that, if they mess with his minutes or anything like that. So I will say I have a little bit of caution for Julius Randle, especially if Rudy Gobert is going to actually be back today. Definitely something to pay attention to. I would imagine he would come back on a minutes limit either way. If Gobert is out, if Randall is going to be out, then of course Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, both these guys get bumped up in regards to minutes, in regards to usage and everything that we can go to. And then I would imagine that we will see Clark, Shannon Jr., both those guys get a little bit of a boost, getting to play at that 3 spot over there for them, because of course everyone shifts down, things of that nature. Now, if Anthony Edwards, he's in, he's playing, good to go right here. We can mess with it. We haven't had a really big pop-off game for Ant in a minute. You can definitely go there. We have been able to see opposing 2 guards go out there and have decent games versus them. Potomensky dropped 42. Koulibaly dropped 35. Zach LaVine dropped 53. Kamara dropped 50. So definitely you can mess with that. You can go there to Anthony Edwards. Would be a pay-up stud, but we do got the Joker on the slate. And if he's in, it's the Joker. Outside of that, I would pay attention to know if Mike Conley's going to be missing today or out, because I don't mind getting to Dante DiVincenzo, which they kind of limited him yesterday to 23 minutes, but still, in 23 minutes, Dante still went out there and gave us a 30 fantasy point outing in 23 minutes. Like, it's crazy what this dude is doing out there on a per fantasy point per minute basis. If he gets to start and you're going to tell me he can still play 25 minutes, I'm fully convinced that he will still go out there and get me about 35 fantasy points in 25 minutes. That's just how good he's been lately. If the bigs miss, Jaden McDaniels, of course, he'd be in contention to play. I can go there. And then, of course, we're going to look towards that Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Shannon, Jr., Clark. Those guys would be guys I would look to. On the Charlotte Hornets side, everyone is expected to play. Again, no back-to-back over here for them. So, yeah, we can look towards Melo. We can look towards Mark Williams, things like that. But the player I want to look to, especially depending on who's going to be out there, if it's Julius Randle defense, Miles Bridges, bro. Like, he can go out there and give you a big game, go out there and have a very good night. I understand they played early this season. He played 25 minutes, only gave us 24 fantasy points in that game, but that game was pretty much a wash. It was a blowout, 93-114. I still don't like Miles. I still don't mind Miles. He's been putting up some pretty decent games, especially in spots where you don't expect him to actually be able to pop off. I can see him as a low-owned option that can somewhat go forgotten. I can definitely go over there. If you got to go with dirty value over here on the Hornets, Josh Green, he's still out there. Noah Kogi, he's going to play the minutes. Randomly can pop off out there, but very much a GPP option. Outside of that, if you feel like you want to take the chance on Big Nurk being able to go out here, if he's not out for tonight, he's still going to play roughly about 15 minutes. Still puts up over a fantasy point per minute when he's out there. If you want to mess with that, you can. Not really someone that I'm going to. I really don't love too much on the Hornets. Like I said, the one I wouldn't mind getting to would have to be Miles Bridges if I had to take someone from the Hornets. Utah Jazz taking on the Washington Wizards. Again, just all these players that are out. Filipowski was the one I was talking about earlier when I was saying on Portland. You got Klingon, but you have Filipowski playing the Washington Wizards with nobody. Like, Walker Kessler's out. Filipowski's going to go out there and still play if he stays out of foul trouble. Can go out there and play 30 minutes if they let him. Like, we've seen it. 36 minutes versus Portland early. 36 minutes versus Portland early this season. He went out there and he dropped 49.75 fantasy points in that game. Definitely a double-double threat. I like his rebounds today as well for 8 to 10 rebounds. Definitely would take that one over here. And just what he can do on the scoring side. He can stretch the floor, a stretch big, and also what he showed me in that game versus the Pelicans, the playmaking, the assist upside, I like that. That's definitely weird to even think that Filipowski can go out there and give me a triple-double, but I don't mind it. 36, 37 fantasy points in his last 2 games with all the players and stuff missing. Short-handed Utah Jazz team, definitely would imagine he's going to be chalk. Now, I really did like Keontae George with all the players that they had listed out for today, especially the guards. I figured it was going to be a tight rotation, but popped up on the injury report late today. Like I said, 11:37. That's later on in the day with the illness. If he's going to be held out, I have no choice but to go right back to Collier, who has been kind of but if he's out there not having to share the floor with most of the guards that actually eat up his usage and everything, the facilitating should be back in his hands completely. He's going to have to score. He's not the most prolific scorer out there, but he's going to have to do a little something to be able to stay inside this game. Definitely will have to go right there, especially at that 6,300 price tag. That's just too easy to even want to get to. Outside of that, of course, my boy Sensabaugh, if he's on, he's on. You guys already know. If he goes out there and he's scoring, he's lighting it up, he's going to give us a good day. And then if he can add in those peripheral stats, that'll be great. 4,300, easy day to want to go ahead and click that name. I could definitely see myself getting there. Johnny Juzang was one I didn't think I would want to get to, but with the injuries and everyone being out that they have at the guard spot, you're going to have to look to, I think you're going to have to look towards Juzang. Very much a low usage, way low usage and floor of a player. He can go out here and get us a 30+ fantasy point outing, but we're going to be praying to everything under the sun and hoping that he can. At 4K, just go out there and get me at least 20 fantasy points, and I'll take that, especially as a value play. Definitely could take a swing on Svi Mykhailiuk. We know with everyone that they got out, he's going to have to play some minutes. He should see at least about 25 minutes here in this matchup in this game. It's just a matter of, is the 3-ball going to be falling for him? And can he get me a couple more rebounds and things of that nature? But really the safe one to me is going to be Sensabaugh, just because he's pretty much proven in regards to being a scorer and everything that he does. Really do wish that we could see Cody Williams get more minutes, but they just don't play him enough. I know that he's a brother to J-Dub, and I hope to see him flourish and grow, but not really getting the minutes. Washington Wizards side of things, of course, you guys already know Koulibaly, Carrington, Sarr. If Keyshawn George is in, Keyshawn, all those guys are going to be contention to play. Bub Carrington, 5,300, showing that he can score, he can play make, he can rebound. I like the upside. Definitely go there. If you haven't already gone ahead and played his assist prop, go ahead and play that assist prop, bro. If they still got it at 4.5, 5.5, take the over. He's going up against the Utah Jazz, one of the teams that we attacked continuously throughout the season in regards to opposing point guards taking the assist. It's just like going up against the Pelicans. You take that. You play that. Now, outside of that, I will say that Koulibaly is due for a bounce back after the shit of a game that he had last time out. 33 minutes versus Miami and gave 7.75. He is due for a bounce back. And it wouldn't surprise me at that 6K price tag, man, why am I going to pick Koulibaly? I can come down here to Bub Carrington, 5,300. He's going to be playing the point. He's going to facilitate, do all those things. And boom, Koulibaly goes out here, 6K, lower owned, goes out there and drops like 35, maybe 40 fantasy point outing, fast-paced game going up against the freaking Utah Jazz. That's the leverage play right there. Now, like I said, Chris Middleton, he's roughly only going to play roughly about 24, 25 minutes. Not going to go there, but if you land there and you want the safety, which it looks like it's pretty safe. When he's out there, he has the usage. He's playing. He's doing what he got to do. He understands he's only going to play 25 minutes, so you can mess with that right there. Then I'm not really all keen in going towards that. If Rashawn Holmes gets ruled out, then I imagine it's going to be some more minutes for Champagnie to be able to come in here and get some more burn that Holmes would have got. Right there, and maybe we can see an uptick in the minutes that they have to give to Sarr, which I don't mind Sarr here. Only 25 minutes, 26 since he's came back from his injury recently, so maybe they would have to uptick those minutes a little bit for him. Good matchup. Either way, he can stretch the floor, and then if he's on one as well, he can definitely go out there and deliver for us. But like I said, Koulibaly, that's the sneaky, like, nobody's going, I really feel like no one's going to want to click that. No one's going to want to click that right there. And just out there playing the 2 spot. Trey Murphy dropped 42 fantasy points versus them. Zach LaVine 37. Denny Avnia, when he had to play the 2, I want to say it was him playing the 2 over Kamara here at that spot. 44.50 fantasy points. Jalen Green 47 fantasy points. Norman Powell 49. I'm not saying that he's literally on that archetype as them, but the upside is there for him to pop and have a really big game, and I like definitely looking that direction. Miami Heat taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Bam Adebayo, I'm not even gonna have to talk that up. Bam, all the usage, especially if Tyler Hero misses, he's going to have to put on for Miami to go ahead and win this game. Outside of Bam, Terry Rozier, if there's no Hero, I know that they say Davion Mitchell, he's fully expected to play. You can go to Davion, granted, for 37 minutes, sitting at that 4-5 price tag. He looks like he's got a safe floor to get us right up there in the right around 25-ish fantasy points. So 4,500, we could take a stab. We could definitely go there. But I will say there's some merit in looking towards Terry Rozier if they decide to go ahead and start him. Again, that would be if Hero has to miss. One of these other 2 guys are going to have to be slid into the starting lineup. We can see Terry at the point and Davion at the 2. And I don't mind going to Terry. 35 minutes, 29.75 fantasy points last time out versus the Washington Wizards. I understand it's Cleveland, but if you watched Cleveland last night going up against the freaking Chicago Bulls, you wouldn't have thought that Cleveland was one of the top teams in the league at all. Like, that game should not have been as close as what it was. So definitely, I can see myself playing Terry Rozier, Davion Mitchell. Both of those guys make sense to me. Alex Burke, he's still going to start playing at that 3 spot for the injured Andrew Wiggins. You can go there as a value, but 4,300, I would much rather just go ahead and play Davion, much rather play Terry Rozier. Both these guys, they have a better upside than what Alex Burke is going to give us. Now, with that being said, Alex Burke, if he decides that he wants to shoot and get hot, don't get mad at me if he shoots and get hot and you faded him. I didn't say fade him. I'm just saying I could see a better floor and upside for Davion Mitchell just because of all the minutes that he's going to play. Because Alex Burke, the only problem is that he's going to go out there and play, but he's not going to play 30-plus minutes like Davion Mitchell. That's the difference right there. That is the true difference. That's all I'm saying. Now, outside of that, definitely Duncan Robinson has to be in consideration. And it feels weird. It feels gross even having to say Duncan Robinson is in consideration, simply because when you look at it, 4,700, playing 30, 32, 29, 33 minutes, all these injuries that they're dealing with, 25, 21, 33, 40. If he gets on one from 3, night, lights out, boom, you got it. The Cavs, obviously, after last night, Taylor Horton Tucker, Kobe White, all those guys popping off from 3, could be in for a recipe again here today. Duncan Robinson, a tweener, like I said, plays the 2, plays the 3. Can definitely switch in and out of those guard and forward spots right there. Then the last person that I really do have to consider over here for me is going to be Larson. As you guys can see, he can put up a fantasy point per minute. He is very much reliant on scoring. He can play make a little bit. I do think that some of these extra minutes he got was because Davion Mitchell missed last game. So take that with a grain of salt. He can go back. This is Eric Spoelstra. He can go back to playing 7 minutes here tonight. So just worry about that. If they decide they want to start Kevin Love again, K-Love is not going to play 20, 25 minutes. Don't get your hopes up. I understand that there was a couple of games, I know like a season or 2 before, where Love is still a good fantasy point per minute producer when he gets out there on the court. But we're not going to get 25 minutes of Kevin Love, man. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a spot where if you want to take that for hope he gets to 15, you can mess with that, but don't put all your eggs into the basket right there. Don't go chasing that. Kyle Anderson will be much safer in regards to play. He can slide in and play that 4 spot. And then, of course, they're going to play Highsmith. I really don't like Highsmith, one of the worst fantasy point per minute players out there on the court. I would much rather just go ahead and play Kyle Anderson if I got to choose over here for a play. On the Cleveland Cavaliers side, they are on the back end of a back-to-back. To me, Evan Mobley rested. He's back. You're going to be dealing with some subpar defense in regards to who they have to actually be able to match up versus you. I like the upside for him at 8,300. I could take that. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, not really looking towards either one of those guys. Jared Allen, though, I definitely can mess with that. Fresh off of a 30-minute, 55.75 fantasy point double of a game. I can go right back towards that for me because Allen has just been a pretty good monster. But again, I do have to tip my hat over to Evan Mobley here inside this spot. Versus the Cavs, versus the Heat when they played early this season, game that he didn't leave early. 31 minutes, he dropped 46 fantasy points. So upside, it's big, it's there, and I do like Evan Mobley for everything. Now, if they rest somebody, then of course we are going to look towards Ty Jerome. That's a play we can go to. DeAndre Hunter, I know he got the start last night, but he would have to be someone that we can consider. Got the start and really didn't do too much with it. Definitely seems to be much better off the bench because that's the same thing we saw when he started for the Hawks as well. So keep that in mind if you fall for the DeAndre Hunter trap. the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. It's kind of cut and dry and straightforward over here with it. You're going to play Dallas Mavericks today. You're going to have to. Najee Marsh, he's going to end up playing a decent number of minutes, especially at the forward spot for him. A decent fantasy point per minute player when he's out there, 5,900. I can see myself getting into that. Klay Thompson, Max Christie. I definitely endorsed Klay last time. 25 minutes, 6.25 fantasy points. Let me down. And instead, Max Christie, he went out there, 29 minutes, 24.25 fantasy points. Had the better night. Both of these guys, to me, really, it's just Klay has to knock down shots to really have some type of upside. Max Christie, yes, he can stuff the stat sheet and do everything else, also facilitate and lead the offensive charge. So that's kind of where you at in between both of these guys, but it's a coin flip still to me between them. Yeah, you can go with the savings, the 200 savings for Christie, or you can honestly just say bump them all and just only play Spencer Dinwiddie, who is going to have to be out there to play, facilitate, and hopefully actually score the ball. But none of that truly matters to me because honestly, best play and my favorite play over here, especially because I hope he gets to start. That's my boy Kai Jones. 21 points, 8 rebounds, just all over the place. The man is like super athletic, and it's crazy because he was a lottery pick if I'm not mistaken. I know he was on the Hornets, but then they cut him loose because he was losing his marbles or whatever. I'm not even gonna say losing his marbles. I gotta understand the backstory of what was going on with Kai, because he's too good of a player not to be on an actual team. It's kind of reminding me very much of like Bobo. Oh, Bobo, he's just wanting to smoke and, you know, just go out with girls and do all that other stuff. He ain't really worried about the craft because he's made it type thing. That's kind of what it reminds me of, how he's almost like blackballed, so to say. But Kai Jones, I love him. I definitely will be going here at that 5K price tag. And then very much right now, when I was making my mock lines, I'm right there with Spencer Dinwiddie. So that right there is where I'm at. Boom, just got the news that I was waiting on for the Memphis, not for Memphis, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm gonna double back on that in a second once we finish getting through everything else. But again, Najee Marsh, he'll be a better play over here. Max Christie, Klay Thompson, you got to consider those two right there. I will say that Edwards, Powell, Prosper, and even Williams, who I'd imagine might get some run up there as a backup guard. None of those guys interest me. I think that their floors are very much too low to even consider them. I would rather just play these main guys over here: Dinwiddie, Kai, Klay, Christie, and Najee Marsh. That's where I would go. On the Milwaukee Bucks side, we should hopefully get some news. If Giannis is in, who's going to stop him? That's it. Damian Lillard, if Giannis sits, good spot, high usage, everything will be there for him. I could go there. Giannis sits, definitely it will give a bump to Kyle Kuzma as well. We can go there, but I'm going to be very honest. I don't like playing Kuzma on back-to-backs. He typically is shit on back-to-backs. Typically has been for me whenever I even look in that direction. Definitely some other plays we can consider depending on how you see this game going. If you think it could be close, if you think it could blow out. Gary Trent Jr., AJ Green, those would be two guys you can mess with. And then, of course, like I said yesterday on the breakdown, Kevin Porter Jr., he has those random 21.5 fantasy point outings in 12 minutes because he actually can stuff the stat sheet and he's pretty efficient as a scorer. So depending on how you see this game going, Kevin Porter Jr. will be another one I would keep in my back pocket, just knowing that he possibly could go out there and get you a nice little 20 at his cheap price tag. Doubling back real quick to the Minnesota Timberwolves, word just came out that Mike Conley will sit today for rest and Rudy Gobert is going to be out. Julius Randle is questionable. He is a true game time decision. So with Rudy Gobert being out, Naz Reid will still be at the that starting center spot. I imagine that Dante is going to get the start at the point guard spot for Mike Conley. I already talked about it. I already broke it down. You guys already know exactly where I'm looking at right there now with Dante DiVincenzo, especially for that point guard and shooting guard eligibility. That's good. That's great. And I will take it all day right there. If Randall gets ruled out as well, Naz Reid just gets a bump. McDaniels gets a bump as well. And then, of course, Ant going up against the Charlotte Hornets team that really doesn't have anyone truly who can defend him if he decides to. Probably a play over on Prize Picks. Look towards his free throws made. I wouldn't be surprised because he has been pretty aggressive in regards to trying to finish, and he can get himself to the line, especially in this matchup. I would take that right there. That wouldn't be too bad to me at all. All right, finishing out, we got Sacramento Queens going up against the Denver Nuggets. Truly to me, gotta get this news on Malik Monk. If he's gonna be out, then we should definitely get some Keon Ellis. I don't necessarily feel like Markelle Fultz would necessarily be like the starter because it would definitely have to be, to me, Keon, who we have seen get spot starts, and Keon is playing more minutes. I can consider him, but a lot of the usage is going towards Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. We have noted this time and time again. Centers going up against the Joker, they've been able to do their thing. They've been able to rebound very well, score as well. Definitely can get some block shots because the Joker is very blockable. 6,400 though, he got to stay out of foul trouble for me. He has to stay out of that foul trouble. You can definitely mess with Jonas Valanciunas if you want to. Primarily over here, it's the news on Monk. If Monk's going to be out, I'll have more interest in like Keon Ellis for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. I think all those guys will be a boost. J-Val, it's just some other really good value centers. I don't feel like you have to get to J-Val. On the Denver Nuggets side of things, the Joker's the Joker. I'm not going to go into that. I don't need to. Like, it's straight up. You should know what it is right now. And by now, already what it is with the Joker. Jamal Murray, if the Joker was to sit, will get a boost. The playmaking duties, everything, the scoring, all that will be there. Same thing for Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Braun. I would imagine that Russell Westbrook possibly could start if Aaron Gordon was to be out. I do like the upside for him. We know triple double king definitely can go out there and get those rebounds, play make, do all those things. Versus Boston, he started 36 minutes and dropped 30.25 fantasy points. That's looking like Russ that we were seeing before he pulled his hamstring. If AG is in and the starters are normal, then really primarily it'll be the Joker you want to target and attack. Christian Braun would be pretty good here in this spot just because he's sitting in that decent price tag range that I wouldn't mind getting to. And then Jamal Murray, if you want to get if you can't get to the Joker and you want to get some type of piece from this game, I can see that. Joker sits, DJ should start, especially with Peyton Watson and others being game time decisions and possibly out. Last game of the night, my OKC Thunder taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the last time that I endorsed and said this, he got injured, didn't play in the second half of the game. He's still too cheap. Chet is 7,300. I will go right back to it. The game versus Atlanta, I'm going to throw that out. That didn't happen. 7,300. They're looking for him. We're trying to get him in rhythm to still drop 38.75 fantasy points in the game versus the Houston Rockets. When you got Shea going out here for 73.25, 51 actual points is huge. And it shows that he can play with other stars. And I'm talking about Shea. He can play with other stars and everyone else can still shine. And matter of fact, what did Dub drop in that game as well? Dub even went out there and dropped 39 fantasy points, 24 actual points. So the big three for the Thunder can play with each other. Now I will say Dub is a bit 8,200. I will take Chet for that 73. Block upside, the outside shooting, the rebounding. Hartenstein is the only one that really gets a tick down due to Chet being back. Hartenstein's going to play roughly about 25-ish minutes when it comes down to it. Chet possibly could get the start at the center spot, depending on what they decide to do. But I imagine Hartenstein would have to start going up against Zach Edey if they start Edey. But Edey had been coming off the bench over the last couple of games. So all that right there, that's what's going to depend on what's going to matter right there. Shea is Shea. I ain't got to break that down no more. I'm done breaking that down. I won't. Memphis is a fast-paced team. More possessions, more everything over here. This really does set up to be a pretty good game environment for them, especially if Ja plays in the game, can stay close. Outside of Shea, J-Dub, Chet, you can look to a sprinkle of Luke Dort, Case and Wallace. I will say Wallace off the bench, 32 minutes versus Houston, 32.75 fantasy points. San Antonio Spurs, I want to say he got the start right there in that game, 32.25 fantasy points. He's been pretty consistent. I wouldn't mind going towards him at that 4,500. If you got to choose between him and Kevin Porter Jr., Kevin Porter Jr. was like 4K. Kaysen is 45. Do I want the safety or do I want the upside? He's safety. Kevin Porter Jr. is upside. That's how you look at that one right there. Outside of that, I know that Caruso's out, so that's just going to boost up those minutes for Kaysen right there with the second unit and also the overlap that Caruso would have had with the starters. If Joe misses, that's just even more right there for him. And then we could possibly see a couple more minutes for like a Kenny Hustle out there as well. Memphis Grizzlies over here for them. If Ja plays, that's great. If Ja's out, Desmond Bane, enough said. The Thunder, we have been on a little bit of a lax. We've been slipping backwards in regards to giving up some really good shots, three-point shots and things like that to opposing teams. Now, I personally think it's because we are trying to integrate Chet and just everyone get used to what we have going on over there. That's what I really personally feel like that's what it is. But you tell me, if you've actually watched some of our games and you understand what it is over here. Now, Santi Aldama, he gets to start. I like that. I wouldn't hate it. 6,400, that's not bad. But I will say, like, the play I want to get from over here is going to be Chet from this game, and I see him being a really great late night hammer. Aldama, he gets to start, he plays, he can stretch the floor, he can be a triple-double threat as well. He can rebound very well for himself and also play make this to rock. You out there playing with players like Ja, you get the rebound, you chuck it down the court, get the easy outlet passes and things like that. It'll be great. If Ja was to miss, Scottie Pippen Jr. was to miss as well, then just look at Luke Kennard. Definitely, I didn't expect them to start him, and it kind of sucks that they started him. I wish they would have still said that Scottie Pippen Jr. was going to start, and then flipped it to Luke Kennard because, of course, everyone went with Luke Kennard because you already know what's up with Luke when he gets to start. Great spot, great play. Wouldn't mind taking him. Guards have been actually cooking versus us. So, again, if Ja is out, That's when you're going to look towards Desmond Bane and Luke Kennard. Wouldn't mind getting either one of those two. If Ja's in, look towards Ja, Desmond Bane. Those will be the main two I want to get from over here. And then a sprinkle of Luke Kennard would also be someone else that you can look to as well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys were able to get a little something from this video. If you guys did, let me know down in the comment section. If you guys did enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. More content coming. About to drop it off for you guys. Peace.